In this video, we're going to have a look at multiplying surds. In previous videos, we looked at adding and subtracting. We're now going to bridge this towards multiplication. We're going to think about this from the viewpoint of how we simplify surds in the first place. We've learned in the past that to simplify something, which can be written as two things multiplying each other, we can split that surd up. For example, if we had 20 written as 4 times 5, we could split it up into root 4 times root 5. Well, it follows that if we have something written the other way about, root a times root b, well, we can then kind of work backwards and combine them. For example, if we had root 4 times root 5, well, that would become root 4 times 5, which would give us our root 20. Okay, so we can kind of work both ways here. Okay, I think I've got 6 examples here, but we should be able to get through them quite quickly. So example 1, we've got root 3 times root 3. Well, root 3 times root 3, we can combine that, so that's going to become the square root of 3 times 3, which is 9. But this is one of the special examples because we know the square root of 9. The square root of 9 is 3. There we go, that's example 1. Example 2, root 11 times root 11. 11 times 11 is 121. And the square root of 121 is 11. This is one of the things that we actually know the square root for. Can you see a shortcut here? Do you notice that when we multiply a surd by itself, we actually just get out the value within the surd? So if we kind of take this into this example here, root 95 times root 95, I don't need to work that out. I know that that's going to be 95. It's a really important thing to know with surds, that if we've got, for example, if I generalise, if I've got root x multiplied by root x, where these are the same value, I'm just going to get that value out. Okay, that's a really important point that comes out. So if I've got root 7 times root 7, it's 7. Right, let's keep going. Example 4. Root 10 times root 2. Well, these aren't the same, so it's not going to be whatever. So it's going to be, what, root 20. But sometimes when you multiply surds, you can then start to simplify. Because I think, okay, what's the biggest square number that goes into 20? Well, it's 4. So it's going to be 4 times 5. And then we can split these up. Root 4, root 5. And that will give us 2 root 5. So we can multiply and then simplify. Let's have a look at this one. Example 5. Root 8 times root 5. Well, that's going to be a root 40. Is there a square number that goes into 40? Yeah, 4. That's going to be 4 times 10. Can we split that up? Root 4 root 10. Which is 2 lots of root 10. And there's our answer. Okay, so we multiply and then we simplify. Let's have a look at this next example. Square root of 8 times the square root of 6. Square root of 8 times the square root of 6, that's going to be the square root of 48. What's the biggest square number that goes into 48? That's 16. 16 times 3. So that's going to be root 16, root 3, which is 4 lots of root 3. We multiply and then we simplify. Okay, so just a recap, remember, if we have a surd multiplied by itself, we're going to get the value just out. If these values are different, we multiply them together, and if we can, we simplify them, just using our techniques that we've used already. Okay, that's example 1 to 6. Got a few more to have a look at when we're multiplying surds. Thank you very much.